violating.
I have no comment for you on that. I have no clue what you're talking about, man. Have a great day.
And I'm just going to continue to be amazed by the fact that the only thing that he felt like he needed to rebut initially was that he had been a drag queen. Like, again, he was also lying in his rebuttal of that, but that he felt like he had to get out in front of this thing. The idea that he might have committed like gross violations of campaign finance law, I got no comment. I don't say anything. Go away. What do you think I am? A representative, an elected official that has to answer for my actions? No. JR, what do you think?
Yo, this is the thing. They have to revise their reasons behind it. Again, the second part of his angry rant, and he also didn't want to pull anyone off of committees and all that stuff because the constituents voted for George Santos. They voted for Anthony DeVolder, I guess. But the thing is, since they did so, as you mentioned, his hands are tied. He can't do anything about it. Doesn't that same sentence apply to Ilhan Omar, Eric Swalwell, Adam Schiff? Their constituents voted for them. Your hands should be tied across the board, or it's very explicit that your hands are only tied based off of what you want. So you've tied your own hands. Just say it, bro. I don't like them. It's okay. Donald Trump got away with it. I don't like them. I got rid of them. They're against me. They're snitches. Anything you can say. Call them a couple names. It worked. Your general support system among these voters and other politicians is based in stupid. So you can go stupid. You don't have to try and come up with some kind of real reason behind it because it doesn't make any sense. But then again, maybe I'm working too hard by having a thought process. He doesn't have to say anything, just go with it. Don't you hate them? That's all we need to hear. That's his process, that's his approach. Again, these are the people who are helping run the country, who are passing laws. This is their thought process. It's all based in revenge. And by the way, he said until an ethics shows that Santos broke the law, I can't do anything. You mean that whole ethics committee that you guys are trying to dismantle and gut any kind of teeth to? It doesn't make any sense, but they know most people can't and don't have the time to pay attention.
Yeah, it makes no sense from the point of view of reason. It makes perfect sense if your goal is to protect people like George Santos from any consequences whatsoever. And you rightly pointed out that the ethics committee has been defanged, so that's gonna help him. And he was so happy when that happened, by the way. But there are, of course, also many other layers of protection for people like George Santos. So for instance, we might see one after not only the $700,000 are looked into, but the other incredibly suspicious activities when it comes to campaign finance. So bear in mind, he was already facing a complaint from the FEC alleging that his campaign repeatedly reported suspicious expenses, including 8 charges of exactly $199.99 at an Italian restaurant in Queens. I guess he's got a regular meal. He just knows exactly what it's gonna come out to. Another $199.99 charge at a Miami area hotel where rooms do not usually go for less than $600 per night. The specific amount matters because campaigns are required by law to keep receipts or invoices for expenses greater than $200. So either they are doing this to avoid having to disclose that information, but that's crazy talk, or everything they buy costs exactly $199.99 because that's a thing. Interestingly, FEC data shows that more than 90% of House and Senate campaign committees around the country didn't report a single transaction valued between $199 and $199.99 during the 2022 election cycle, whereas Santos reported 40 of them. So, but again, there's like the initial reasonable reaction to this, and then the oh wait, now I remember where I am reaction. So the reasonable reaction from me, and I think very reasonable people watching this, is he obviously is evading disclosure requirements. He's obviously getting one over when it comes to campaign finance. And then you realize they're not gonna do anything about it. Like it doesn't matter that he did. Now, campaign finance violations are one thing that sometimes people have gotten in trouble for, like Dinesh D'Souza, for instance. It has happened, but if they find out that these 40 things were invalid, they're gonna fine him $50,000. He's gonna get it from Trump or something. Like, they're not gonna kick him out over this. I hope that I'm wrong, JR, but I cannot believe that even this obvious repetitive violations of the law will result in him losing his position.
He needs him. The majority is very slim. He needs him. That's the bottom line.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.